Hello everybody! Thanks for tuning in for Tuesdays with Tiffany C on Real Acting, where I perform one monologue a week, alternating through drama, comedy, classical, and horror. For this week's show, I've decided to do a monologue from Disturbed by Boesen, where I'll be portraying the character of Daphne. So Bob and Daphne are in the nursery of a city hospital. Brad has just been telling Daphne that his father just shot himself, and Bob was the one who found him. So after Daphne has expressed her sympathies and is about to leave, Bob reveals that he was only joking. This is sort of the last straw in a kind of failed conversation, so hope you enjoy! You want to hear a joke about my father? One night when I was 12 years old, my father decided to decorate the house for Christmas. He'd never done it before, but this year he had gotten a raise at work and I guess he wanted to show off to the rest of the neighborhood. So about a week before Christmas, Dad went out and bought up all the lights and decorations he could find. There wasn't much left, it had been pretty picked over, but he still got a lot. One store owner was so happy to get rid of everything so close to Christmas, he even threw in an old mannequin and Santa costume that had been cluttering up his store. Dad built his whole display around it. We didn't have one of those big brick chimneys that you see in books and movies, so instead of that, my dad put the Santa on top of the roof of our porch, looking into my parents' bedroom window. Around all the windows, he put red lights, green lights around the edge of the roof, and a combination of the two crisscrossed up and down, and in all the bushes and trees. It was beautiful. It took him almost a week to finish it, to get it just the way he wanted it. But when he finally lit it up, the whole town came out to see it. Everyone. Cars driving past around the block over and over again just to see our house. I was so happy. I was sure that this was going to be the best Christmas of all Christmases. Living in this cocoon of color and light with the whole world lining up outside just to admire it. On Christmas Eve, my dad went out to this bar he used to hang out in. He liked to spend Christmas Eve with his buddies because on Christmas all the aunts and uncles would be in town, and I guess being hungover gave him an excuse not to be a good host. So anyway, it was way past midnight by the time he got home, and Mom and I were already in bed. Mom had turned off all the Christmas lights for the night. She couldn't sleep when they were on because they would shine in through her bedroom window. So the only light was a street light at the end of the block. And I guess in the darkness, after drinking all night, Dad forgot about the Santa mannequin. Mistook it for a burglar or something, because I woke up hearing shouting on the front lawn, gunshots, and breaking glass. So I ran into my mom and dad's room because I didn't know what was happening, but Mom and Dad weren't in bed, and it was cold, like someone had left the window open or something. So I looked, and there was my mom, just laying there on the floor in the middle of all that shattered glass and blood. She must have been standing by the window when... And I just stood there. I couldn't move. I couldn't say anything. I was still half asleep. It was like a dream. But then I heard the front door open and footsteps running up the stairs. I was terrified. I was sure that whoever had been out on the front lawn was coming to get me now, and I couldn't hide. There was no place to hide. The only thing I could think of to do was to lay down beside my mom and play dead. I thought that whoever it was wouldn't hurt me if they thought I was already dead. So when my dad got to the bedroom door, he saw me and my mom and all that blood, and he said something. It didn't register at first. I was so scared, and I was concentrating so hard on not to move. And then he stumbled backwards out of the room, and he was crying, and he kept saying, "No, no, no," over and over again. "No, no." And then I recognized his voice. I realized it was my dad. But before I could say anything, there was another gunshot. and then he wasn't crying anymore. I guess he didn't have enough time to leave a funny note like your dad. Hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in again next Tuesday evening for more entertaining monologues performed by yours truly. And up next week is comedy. Until then, have a good evening.